Alright, you know what? Since obviously I don't have a lot of viewers, like, at all, I think I'm just gonna, like, do a little blog. Okay. First of all, I don't know what your opinion about me is. I don't know what people think about me based on the videos that they've seen. But if you thought I'm this happy-go-lucky, bubbly person who's always happy about everything, I'm not. I'm really not. People think I'm okay, but I'm really not. Like, hell, I've got major depressive disorder, anxiety, bipolar disorder, anger management, I don't know if I've said it yet or not, ADHD, mild OCD. I've got all these fucking problems. I've had them for years. Like, my ADHD is the longest one, and that's the one that gets me in almost the most trouble. Honestly, my anger management, not goddamn it, my anger issues is the one that gets me in the most trouble. Like, sorry, I'm not even good about talking about this in person, let alone knowing the fact that possibly a lot of people are going to be seeing this. But anyways, I've been through a lot of shit. Like, I just feel like telling somebody, and honestly, I feel like this might help a little bit. I don't know, I doubt it. But honestly, it's really fucking tough. Like, I try to cover everything with a smile, you know, so people won't worry about me or whatever. Because the last thing I want is to hurt anybody else in any kind of way. Like, seriously, my friends, like, if they're upset or anything, I'll put all my feelings and emotions aside just to try and help them out. Like, I'll sit there and I'll talk to them. I'll try and give them advice. I'll be like, man, it's gonna be okay. Don't worry about it. But inside, I'm not even helping myself. Man, I've tried listening to music for hours. I've tried singing my heart out for hours. I've tried playing my instruments. I've tried blaring my instruments. I've tried punching walls. I've tried drawing. I've tried self-harm. I've tried literally fucking everything. And literally nothing helps. Hell, I've even picked up the addiction of smoking cigarettes. And I told myself when I was younger that I never would. And look where I fucking am. I've got a fucking pack of cigarettes in my fucking goddamn bag right now. Because it seems to be the only thing that helps at least a little bit. Like, the reason I smoke is because I feel like, I don't know, like, some kind of, like, unconscious part of me, I guess, feels like it's, like, burning up the bad things and then just getting rid of them. God, I know smoking is not good, but it's, like, one of the very few things that helps. Like, it's gotten to the point where I just don't even want to hang out with my friends anymore. Like, I used to go out and just laugh and have a good time. But now I go out with my friends and I'm just sitting there like, is this supposed to be fun? Why am I not enjoying this? Like, we'll go out on, like, little road trips and shit, and I'll just sit in the fucking back seat like, why the fuck am I here? What the fuck is the point in me being here? It's just fucking ridiculous, honestly. Like, nobody should have to deal with this kind of shit. I mean, I'm even taking medicine for it. I've been taking medicine for like 2 years now, and it hasn't done jack squat for me. It's just, Okay, honestly, it helps a little bit, but then when shit hits the ceiling, it's just all fucked up again. Like, all these stupid thoughts pop into my mind, like, what if I wasn't here? Who would miss me? Nobody. Like, I guess I have friends, but they don't give a shit about me. They sit there and make fun of me. They pick on me. I understand that it's all in good fun and shit, but come on, man. You shouldn't fucking pick on someone with mental disorders. Like, that fucks with me big time. And sorry. It's just, it's fucking bullshit, man. Alright, so I'm gonna explain a little bit of shit to you guys. To anyone who gives a shit to watch. Alright, so I have 6 siblings, alright? So life has never been exactly easy for me. I basically raised 3 or 4 of my siblings. I can't even remember which ones of their diapers I changed. I've changed so many. But, so when I was younger, I thought my stepdad was my real dad. And so when I found out who my real dad was, I didn't really accept it. And when I was like, I guess 11, my dad decided, like, he was in this big drug circle or whatever, and he decided that in order to get into the group, he had to do this really big, awesome thing for the group leader. And the group leader told him that he needed to burn down his neighbor's house, like the group leader's neighbor's house, because it was this old lady that kept on ratting him out to the police. So my dad got completely crossfaded, which is drunk and baked off his fucking ass, and he went to the house and he burned it to the ground. The old lady was fine, and her grandchildren were fine who were there. They were all fine, but a couple of firemen got hurt in the process. So now he's in prison, and honestly, my entire life I have hated his fucking guts. He treated my older sister, which is my only full-blooded sibling, he treated her like complete shit whenever I was there. Treated me like I was better than her for some fucking God knows why reason. But, like, I completely hated that. I hated his guts. Like, every time I was with him, I felt uncomfortable. I felt threatened. I felt unsafe. And now that he isn't a part of my life anymore, I'm like, okay, this is alright. This is alright. I can deal with this. And then all of a sudden, out of the blue, I get this fucking letter in the mail from him. Like, I guess my older sister sent him my address. I mean, granted, I guess I did give her permission to. I wasn't really thinking much about it. I was like, fine, whatever. He wants to send me a message. Whatever. So he sent me this big, huge, long letter. Like, I miss you. I'm sorry. I regret what I did. I love you. I love your mom. I love your sister. Blah, 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 blah. I'm like, bitch, I don't give a fuck about you. Like, okay, so honestly, a part of me wanted to forgive him. So I wrote him back. I was like, honestly, I hate your guts. I hate everything about you. You are not coming to my wedding when I get married, whenever the fuck that's gonna be, because you're not gonna fucking, you weren't there to walk me across the field for my senior night, so why the fuck should you be there for my wedding night? My mom was there. I was on fucking crutches. Again, because of my fucking anger issues, but still. My mom has been the one to support me my entire life. She's the one who allowed me to join band, and fuck, band is my life, man. Like, making music is beautiful. It's out of this world. It's unbelievable what one person can do on a hunk of metal. Like, it's unrealistic. But yeah, so I fucking hate my dad. He's a piece of shit. Honestly, I'll probably never forgive him. I've tried. I just can't. Actually, I haven't even replied to his last letter, and it's been like a month and a half. So I'm done. Okay. So then, after my dad was my stepdad, he basically abused money. He put himself before the entire family. Like, literally, he's in so much debt, it's unbelievable. And he went out and bought himself a fucking motorcycle instead of paying the electric bill and the gas bill to keep the house warm and the water running. Like, what the fuck? That's not cool, man, at all. Okay, so after that was my stepdad, I guess. And he was physically abusive. He would beat the living shit out of me whenever I was in trouble. Like, he would bend me over his knee and spank me until I couldn't sit down for days. Like, I can understand a little bit of spankings, like 3 or 4. But 10 to 12? From a full-grown man? With a fucking belt? No. Like, I remember this one time I was in elementary school, and I went to school, and my ass hurt really fucking bad. I could not sit down. It was too painful to sit. So my teacher took me to the principal's office, and they had me pull my pants down, and turns out there was this huge ass handprint from the night before. Like, it was there the entire night, and it did not heal. It was a full-blown handprint on my ass. They called children's services and everything and decided it was just disciplinary action. Like, it was allowed or whatever. Okay, so literally the entire time I was living with my mom and my stepdad, I was basically the slave of the house. I would be forced to stay up until 1 in the morning doing dishes from the night before. Like, it literally took me 2 or 3 hours to do all the dishes because they were fucking disgusting. I had to clean up everything. I had to take care of the animals. Basically, when I was in middle school, I had the responsibilities of an adult. I kid you not, I basically grew up when I was 11. Like, I did not have a good childhood at all. My childhood was fucking shit. Like, my only friends when I was younger were 2 kids that lived down the road. They were my only friends. And then when I went to middle school, my only friends were band kids, and I honestly didn't get along well with them either. Like, I'm still friends with a few of them, but not really. I don't really talk to them that often at all. And even now, like, my friends are fucking either band kids or druggies. Like, that's not a good group. Like, half of my friends would put drugs and alcohol before the other people in the group. Like, it's fucking ridiculous. Okay, anyways, so after my stepdad was another guy that my mom was with. And, he was absolutely controlling. He was an absolute fucking control freak. Okay, hold on, I can't. My fucking throat is killing me. Hold on. Oh my god, I'm not used to talking a lot. In case you can't tell, lately I haven't been talking hardly at all, so my throat is fucking killing me. I'm sorry if it sounds terrible. It probably does. Oh my god. Okay. So basically he was an entire fucking goddamn control freak. Like, okay, so my mom was working at Domino's, right? She absolutely loved it. She didn't care that it didn't pay that much because he was making like $14 an hour, which is outstanding. He had plenty of money. And he would buy stuff for everybody. But my mom could pay her insurance and one of the other bills. Like, and she bought like groceries and shit every now and then when she could. Well, he didn't like the fact that she was delivering pizzas. Like, I don't know what the fuck he thought was so wrong about that. I mean, hell, we got free pizza every now and then. It was fucking great. But no, he tried to force her to quit her job. Like, she had been in that job for a few years. She fucking loved it. She was almost a manager. Like, it was great. Like, she was so excited. Like, she would come home and tell us how much she loved her job. And he would just sit there and basically scream in her face to get a different job. And then he would... Okay, I'm going to be honest with you, band is not cheap at all. It's cost at least $5,000 to $10,000 over the 5, 6... Wait, what the fuck am I counting? Oh, wait. Over the 7 years that I've been in band, it's cost anywhere between $5,000 to $10,000. It is not cheap at all. Like, every year it was $250 just for band camp, and then we went to Disney, which was like almost $700, and then every other trip was at least $100. Like, it adds up fucking quick. But yeah, so band wasn't cheap. Like, I understood that. Like, he would sit, like, I had my room in the basement, and I could hear everything that went on upstairs. And I could hear him screaming at her, blaming me for all the money problems. Like, I wouldn't ask them for money unless it was for school or band. Or occasionally, if I wanted to go to the pool with my friends, it was only like $5. And that was only like once a month. Like, I never went out anywhere with my friends. Or if I did, they paid for me. But he would sit in the room with my mom and scream at her, being like, you don't pay for shit. Why do I have to pay for everything? Why? He would basically say shit like I should quit band because it costs too much. Like, bitch, you aren't even paying for my band. My mom pays for that. From the little tiny bit of money that she has left over. Like, I still have a shit ton of money that I owe to the band that I need to pay off myself now. And I fucking can't because I can't fucking get a goddamn job. I can't keep a job because of my fucking issues. Oh my god. But yeah, so, okay, I'm gonna be honest. One time we had bed bugs while I was living with my mom and the control freak. Okay, so, again, he had blamed me for that. Like, how the hell was I supposed to know I was bringing home bed bugs? Like, I spent the night once at a friend's house, and I came home, and the house was infested. Boom. Just all of a sudden. And I had a fucking water bed in the basement. It was a cheap-ass water bed. I think it only cost, like, $25, because I don't fucking know why, but it probably had bed bugs when we got it. But he sat there and blamed me and my mom for it. Like, this is fucking disgusting. Why the fuck do we have bed bugs? What the fuck? Blah, 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 blah. Like, he screamed for hours on end. So, that's basically when I started my mental breakdown. Like, just being blamed for all the problems in the house. Just literally fucking everything. Like, it's just fucking ridiculous. So, then one day, I think I was staying at my stepdad's house for the weekend or something. My mom told me about this when she came and picked me up. She told me that they had been arguing about something, and he had told her to get out. And so she started to pack up her things. And he came into the bedroom and screamed at her, like, what the fuck are you doing? And she's like, I'm leaving. I'm packing up my shit. I'm gonna go. And he's like, no, you're not. And I'm trying not to mix up any facts or anything, but I think she said that he took her stuff and pushed it off the bed. And she tried to grab her stuff off the floor and go for the door, but he grabbed her and threw her down on the bed and literally got on top of her and held her down. She said she has no clue how, like, he was twice her size, but somehow she managed to push him off of her and grab her shit, and I think she went outside and put her shit in her car. And he went outside and was screaming at her to come back inside. She came back inside to get a little bit more of her other stuff, like stuff out of the bathroom or something. And he started screaming at her and throwing shit. And she got scared, so she went and just sat down in the living room. Like, sorry, basically pretend like she wasn't gonna leave. And he came in. No, he went down to the basement. And when he came back up, he had his little pistol. His little pistol. A real fucking gun. Loaded and everything. And he came back upstairs and was waving it around like, if you leave, I'm gonna go outside and blow my brains out. And she just sat there. She didn't say anything. She did not say a single word. And, he's like, answer me. And she didn't say anything. And he's like, alright, that's it. I'm gonna go blow my brains out. So he went outside, and he straight up fired the fucking gun. And she just sat there. She's a fucking trooper. She just sat there. He comes back inside, and he's like, what the fuck? You didn't even come outside to see if I was okay? And she just sat there. And so he straight up took the chair that she was sitting in and flipped it over. Her in it and everything. Across the room. She grabbed her shit, and she was gone. She did not look back. That was the end of that shit. Like, she was gone. Oh, but another little thing I forgot to tell you guys. The summer before sophomore year, we had all decided to go camping. It was, I forget who all was there. I think it was, okay, it was me, my mom, the control freak, my younger sister, and my 2 younger brothers. There's a lot more siblings than that, but that's all that was on the trip. Okay, so this was, I think this was when they were bombing the house for the bugs. But, so this one day, they were going to the store for something, and I just didn't feel like going. I was like, I'm tired, I'm just gonna stay here and take a nap. And they're like, alright, fine, we'll be back in a few hours. And I was like, alright, cool. So I stayed there. I took a little nap. When I woke up, they still weren't there. So I started doodling and stuff, and all of a sudden my doodles went to the dark side. They were not good doodles. Like, the last one I drew, I remember this, because I still have the notebook. It was a little heart with a black snake wrapped around it. And it said, like, it had labels on it. Obviously, the heart was basically me, and the snake was my life. And underneath it, it said, I'm being strangled by my own fucking life. And I just sat there and I stared at it for a few hours, and I was like, I can't fucking take it anymore. Like, I'm fucking tired of all this bullshit. I'm tired of being yelled at. I'm tired of being blamed for everything. I'm just tired. Honestly, at the time, I was on my period, but it wasn't that bad. So, I had a little bottle of Midol on the table, and I also had ibuprofen for, like, headaches and shit. But I had taken the rest of the Midol all at once. And again, I have mild OCD, and so I was counting the pills as I took them. I think I got to, like, I don't know, like 12 Midol, and so I took the rest up to 20 of ibuprofen. So altogether I took 20 painkillers, and fucking Midol is strong shit. Like, I think you're only supposed to take, like, 1 pill. So I took 12 times the recommended dosage for Midol, and then 4 times the recommended dosage for ibuprofen. In other words, I was trying to just end it all. And at the time I was dating this one guy, he's a piece of shit, but I didn't think so at the time. So I texted him, and I was like, I'm sorry. Like, I felt really bad about what I had done. I was like, I'm sorry. And he's like, what for? And I was like, 20. And he's like, what? And I was like, painkillers. And he's like, where are you? And I was like, I'm camping. And he called me. And he's like, where are you? And I told him where I was. And he hung up and put his mom called. And she's like, where are you? And I told her. And she's like, alright, I'll call you right back. And when she called back, she told me that she had called an ambulance to that place. And I was just sitting there freaking out. I was like, oh my god, I'm gonna be in so much fucking trouble. What the fuck? Why the fuck would they do this? I just wanted to keep this to myself. I just wanted to go quietly without causing any fucking trouble or anything. Honestly, I regret telling him. But yeah, so after like an hour and a half, I started feeling really sick. Like, I was just exhausted. Like, I just wanted to lay down and sleep. Like, my stomach was killing me. And then I guess I had made like a small mess in the tent or whatever. And so everyone got back from the store, and the control freak went into the tent, and he's like, what the fuck is this? I'm like, what? And he's like, you didn't clean up your mess. What the fuck? There's shit everywhere. And he just started flipping shit on me. I'm like, I'm sorry, I'll go clean it up. So I go to clean it up, like in agonizing pain at the moment. I go to clean it up, and cat, no, don't play with shit. And he's just sitting there screaming at me the whole time, and I'm just sitting here like, it'll all be over soon, don't worry. And then they just keep on fucking screaming at me, and I'm like, I'm sorry, okay? And they're like, you're not fucking sorry. I'm like, you don't think I'm fucking sorry? Bullshit! And then I got a phone call, and so I got on the phone, like, it was from the guy's mom. And they're like, who the fuck is that? And I was like, it's his mom. And they're like, why the fuck are you talking to her? Hang up. And I was like, I don't want to hang up. Like, she's sitting there trying to calm me down, like, trying to tell me it'll be okay, and they're sitting there screaming at me, telling me to hang up. Like, I'm not gonna hang up on someone who's trying to help me. But, like, I forget exactly what happened, but I eventually told them. I was like, there's an ambulance on the way. And they're like, why the fuck is there an ambulance on the way? And I was like, I took 20 painkillers. And they're like, you're fucking lying. Why the fuck would you take 20 painkillers? You're stupid. Don't say shit like that. You're fucking lying. And literally not even 10 minutes later, up the road, you see this, you hear the sirens and you see the lights coming down the road. And they're like, you weren't fucking lying. What the fuck is this? They just started flipping shit. Like, the control freak straight up went into the tent and threw shit everywhere. He was flipping out. And my mom was just sitting there. She was scared. Like, that's exactly what I don't want to happen. I don't want people to be scared or worried for me. I want people to be happy. That's my goal in life, is to make people happy. Like, and to see my mom sitting there crying, like, oh my god, another one of my daughters is trying to kill herself. What the fuck is wrong with me? Like, she felt like total shit because of what I did. And that just made me feel 10 times worse. But, so the ambulance got there, and they had me sit in the back of the truck for a minute, and explained to them what happened. And my mom brought my baby brother over, and I lost it. I just started crying. I held my baby brother, and I was like, I'm sorry, I'm so sorry. Like, part of me wishes I hadn't have called him, but then the other part of me is like, if I hadn't have called him, I don't fucking know. But, yeah, so I had to sit in the back of an ambulance as they drove me for an hour. It literally took an hour to get to the nearest hospital. I was sitting there in agonizing pain. They would not let me sleep. Like, literally halfway through the car ride, I ended up throwing up, and they still wouldn't let me sleep. Like, I threw up, I think it was like a half gallon or something. Like, it was fucking terrible. Like, honestly, I get car sick in the first place. That's probably why I threw up. Like, I was sitting there laying on my back. Like, they had me strapped in and everything. Like, not like my arms or nothing. They had my legs strapped in so, like, I couldn't get up and move and shit. But, so they took me to the first hospital, and they gave me ice cubes to chew on because I was fucking starving. At this point, it was 2 in the morning. Like, I took those pills at 9 p.m. Like, I remember the exact date. It was July 2nd, 2013 at like 9 p.m. I didn't get to that hospital until 2 a.m. I had been in agonizing pain for 5 hours. They hooked me up to this heart monitor. And they put an IV in my arm. I'm fucking scared of needles, and I hate the sight of blood. And they pricked my hand to, get a blood sample and everything. They made me take a piss test. They told me I had Tylenol poisoning in my liver. And they gave me medicine to take for it. And they told me to stay awake for a few more hours. My mom and my sister came with me, and they were sitting there, like, again, I don't know, no, I didn't say this yet. Laughing is my coping skill. I laugh about everything. I laugh everything off. Honestly, when I found out that my grandma died, I didn't mean to, but I laughed. Like, that's just how I cope with shit. So, I was sitting there in a fucking, like, sketchy-ass looking hospital, hooked up to these machines with a fucking IV in my arm, sitting there talking to my mom and sister, just laughing. Like my mom just looked at me, she's like, "This isn't funny." And I was like, "Mom, I know. I'm scared. I can't help but laugh." And so she had to straight up tell the doctors and everything that I don't think it's funny. Laughing is just my coping skill. But after a few hours, they told me I could sleep. Like, I had a few more ice cubes and I passed out. And, they woke me up and they told me that they're gonna be transferring me to Children's. And I was like, okay. So, they wheeled me out to the ambulance again. This time they let me sleep on the car ride. But I had so much trouble sleeping. My stomach was still all torn up, and I had a massive headache. Like, and when I got to Children's, I remember I had to be hooked up to another machine and had another IV put in. And they took my blood again. I remember this cute nurse came in, and he was talking to me and everything, and I was just sitting there giggling and shit. And he's like, "You realize that this is very serious, right? You have Tylenol poisoning in your fucking liver." And I was like, "I know this is serious. I told him laughing is my coping skill." And he's like, "Well, this is no laughing matter." And I was like, "What do you expect me to do? I can't help but laugh. Like, that's how I deal with shit." But yeah, so I had to stay in the hospital for 4 days. I had to take this nasty medicine, and I mean, taking the medicine wasn't too bad, but when it came out, oh, it was terrible. Oh, it smelled awful for like a month. Like, I cannot forget that smell. It was just the most disgusting smell I've ever smelled. In my town there's a paper mill, and if you've ever smelled a paper mill, basically that's what it smelled like for an entire month. Oh, it was so nasty. But they gave me a therapist to talk to, and so I talked to her for a few months, and she put me on Zoloft. And she found out that laughing is my coping skill. And she said that if I hadn't told her what I was feeling inside, she would never believe I had problems. Because what I say and what I do are two completely different things. Like, I'll say I'm dying inside, but I'll have this great big smile on, and I'm just laughing and shit, like, I'm dying inside. And I'll just sit there and play it off with a smile. Like, I can't remember one time I went in there and didn't laugh at least once. Like, I just... My cat's getting into shit. But yeah, so I talked to her for, I think, about a year. And I kept taking my medicine. She told me to draw what I was feeling, because I had taken in my notebook from that night and showed her my drawings. And she said, that's good. She said, drawing can be one of my coping methods. And so I was like, alright, cool. So I made up a little Sonic character, and I named her Ash. And basically what I was feeling, I would draw with her. And basically, there ended up becoming two of her. The good side and the bad side. The bad side was colored darker. And basically, like, it had red eyes and everything. Like, it was fucking scary shit. And basically, whenever, like, I would draw Ash, and then the demon side, like, I would draw Ash smiling and being happy and shit, but the demon side would basically be behind Ash with a knife to her neck. Like, one wrong move and you're dead, basically. God, I wish I could find my notebooks. I lost them. I just want to go back through and look at them. Like, I remember I would write shit down with the drawings, like whatever it was supposed to represent. And so one of them was me with a guy that I liked. And then the demon side was off in the distance, pissed as fuck. And I wrote underneath it, she hates it when I'm happy. So basically, I almost had a split personality. There were two parts of my brain. A happy side, like a side that absolutely, more than anything, wanted to be happy. And the other side that couldn't give less of a shit about anything. Like, didn't care about anyone, didn't care who it hurt. Basically, it was my ADHD and my anger issues. Like, my ADHD is happy and giggly and wants to make everyone smile. And my anger issues is, like, when I get pissed, I've told everybody this. The best thing you can do is stay the fuck away from me. Because I'm gonna hurt you. Not physically. Hopefully. I might throw shit, but I would never purposely physically hurt anybody. But I will emotionally scar you. I will make you feel like the most worthless piece of shit in the world. Because that's what I feel. Like, whatever I'm feeling inside, like, if I feel like I'm worthless and that I don't get to live, like, I shouldn't get to live, then I'll make other people feel like that. Just so I won't be the only one. Like, that's how my fucking anger issues works. That's the demon side of Ash. Like, it was fucking terrible. But, yeah, so that was an interesting experience. But, on top of all that, I ended up getting insomnia. And so my therapist had put me on melatonin. You're only supposed to take like 1 or 2 a night. And I took a whole handful. I was so upset I didn't even bother to count how many I took. I just took the small little bottle, dumped a whole handful, it was probably half the bottle, and just downed it all. One gulp. One fucking gulp. And it didn't do anything, but it scared me out. Like, when I woke up the next morning, I was like, why the fuck did I do that? Like, what the fuck? Like, I kid you not. Every fucking time I try and kill myself, it's just a spur of the moment. Like, my anger issues just clicks, and it's like, you shouldn't live. You shouldn't be alive. Kill yourself. Like, that's what it says. Like, it's just like, I kid you not, it feels like there's a fucking demon inside my head screaming at me to kill myself. Like, so I used to be addicted to painkillers because I thought they get rid of all kinds of pain, physical and emotional. Obviously they don't get rid of emotional, so you take more and more hoping that they will, but they just don't. And so that's the reason I had overdosed in the first place. I'm gonna try and end this video before it gets to an hour, but yeah, so I just, every now and then I would take 10 or so painkillers. Like, I just keep thinking, if 20 didn't do it, maybe 50 would. Obviously, I haven't tried that yet, because obviously if I did 50, I'd probably be dead. But, yeah, like, even with all the good shit that's going on, like, I've got an amazing best friend that lets me stay here with her, and her mom is basically trying to be like my mom. But my mom is still there for me. Like, my mom loves me, obviously. Like, I have people in my family that love me. I have friends around me that love me. It's not like I'm living out on the streets or nothing. Like, I've got a nice house to live in. I've got food. I've got shelter. I've got clothes. I've even got my instruments. I've got these adorable animals. But even, like, I've even been to fucking Disney World on New Year's Eve because of the band. That shit is absolutely incredible. But even then, I drew a picture of this and I said, even on the happiest place on earth, I'm still not happy. And that, it's hard to believe that even though someone can have so much amazing stuff, so many blessings, and they can still be so torn up and so dead inside. Like, I used to, this isn't advice for anyone, never, ever, ever hurt yourself. But it doesn't help, I kid you not, it doesn't. It might help for a few minutes, but after that it just makes you feel even worse. But, I used to cut myself with bobby pins. I'm not gonna tell you how, but I did. And after a while I stopped doing that. And then I got a little bit better, and I stopped taking my medicine. I thought, okay, I'm fine. After a few months, everything went downhill again, like really fucking bad. And I had gotten my ears pierced. And I cut with those. They don't bleed, but they burn, and they itch like a motherfucker. And basically, it's a constant reminder that I'm still not okay. Like, I basically sit there and I'll scratch the shit out of it, and I'll just be like, I might be pretending like I'm okay, but I'm not. Hell, we just had to stay at a hotel for a night. It had an indoor pool, and we invited our friends to come over and swim with us. And I was so scared to go swimming because I had those marks on me. And I was like, guys, I can't go swimming. And my best friend was like, I know why, but it's okay. No one will judge you. So I went swimming, but literally the entire time I kept my arm, like, over it. And that cat, I can't deal with that cat. She's so cute. But, I was so self-conscious about it the entire fucking time. Like, I did not want anybody to see it. Because if they would start worrying about me. And I do not want that. I'm telling you this now, this is not for attention. I'm doing this video just to try and vent. Like, I might not even make it public. Hell, I probably won't. It'll probably be private. But, hell, I might not even put this up on YouTube. But yeah, so I had to sit there and feel self-conscious. Like, I refused to get out of that pool. But the second I had to get out of the pool for any reason, I, like, darted up to the chair where our towels were, and I wrapped that towel around my waist. I would not let anybody see them. Like, if I was out of the water, my arm was covering it. If I was in the water, I was fine. I just wouldn't put my legs above the water. But literally, it restricted me so much. Like, usually I would just be splashing around getting out of the pool, jumping back in, like, hey guys, watch this, and just jump in and have fun. But with these little fuckers on me, I fucking couldn't. I was scared that they would get worried about me, and that is the absolute last thing I want. I don't want my friends to be worried about me. I want them to enjoy their lives. I want them to have fun. But, yeah, and then next week we're supposed to go camping. And there's supposed to be a lake where we're going. And honestly, tonight, I was so tempted to do it again. The only reason I didn't is because I want these to be healed by the time I get to that lake, so I can go swimming without being self-conscious. Or at least I want the color in them to fade. Like, I don't want them to be as obvious as they are. Like, I don't want them there at all. It's just so fucking difficult. And at times, I just want all of it to be over. I just don't want to deal with shit at all anymore. But then other times, I'm glad that I'm not dead. Because I think if I was dead, I wouldn't be able to be enjoying this right now. Like, my baby brother got a 4-wheeler for his 4th birthday, and I was the first person to ride it with him. It was my first time ever on a real 4-wheeler, and it was so much fun. Even in the rain, it was so much fun to just sit there with my baby brother in my lap and just go as fast as I could, make him laugh and giggle. Hearing his laugh is just, it's incredible. And enjoying these car rides with my best friend, figuring out shit about college, going to visit a college, playing in the band at a college, like playing with a college band, all these experiences, going to fucking Disney World, like marching, playing these beautiful pieces in band, doing these videos for you guys. All these are amazing experiences that if I was dead, I wouldn't be able to enjoy. But there's still that small part of me that wishes I was dead. Like, it's always just sitting there creeping inside. Like, you have no idea how many times I've thought about it. Like I've thought so many times about just taking the rest of my Zoloft all at once, or going upstairs and taking all the ibuprofen or all the pills I can find. And trust me, there's a lot. Hell, I'm gonna be honest with you guys, I've tripped acid once, and it was the worst experience in my life. I honestly, I went into the kitchen to get water, and I saw a knife in the sink, and I kid you not, I stood there and stared at it for 10 minutes straight, just thinking, I could end it all right now. I could just end it all. And I could honestly see myself picking up that knife and just ending it. Luckily, a lot of my friends had come in to the room at the time, and they took me and sat me back down on the couch. But I kid you not, if my friends had not have been there, I would have killed myself. Like, this is fucking terrible. I hate living with this. Like, everything I see is another opportunity to kill myself. Like, it's just fucking ridiculous. I wish I could just see the world, like, how everyone else sees it. Like, why does everything have to be so scary? Why? When I'm in the car, I just think of opening that door and just jumping out. Or when I'm walking on the side of the road, I think of jumping in front of a car. Or when I see a bottle, I think of smashing it on the ground and just... When I see a cord, I can't... Everything, literally everything is a method of suicide. And I can't escape it. It's like it's fucking following me everywhere. It's just that part of me in my head and in my chest. It's a burning feeling that basically screams that I should not be alive. It's like death itself is telling me that it's my time, but if it was my time, I would be dead already. Or, like, I would die, like, now. Like, people don't die until it's their time. Whether it's suicide, murder, accident, whatever. People do not die until it is their time. So, I don't know. I mean, I guess if I end up killing myself, at least it'll be my time. I mean, there's even a small part of me that wishes that somebody would kill me so I didn't have to do it myself. Honestly, this talk didn't even fucking help. I feel honestly exactly the same. I still feel like an absolute worthless piece of shit. I mean, I guess at least I got to vent.